Never give up is the best and the worst advice you can ever give an entrepreneur. The trick is knowing how to use it. If you love what you're doing, if you can't imagine life without this thing that you're creating, even if it's not working out yet, you're not getting the results yet, it's not where you want it to be yet, but you need to know. It's this thing inside you that has to come out. You need to know if it's gonna work or not. You could deal with the failure, but you can't deal with not knowing. If that's where you're at with your idea, with your business, then you have to keep going. Then you can't quit. Then you have to find out, because otherwise it's gonna eat you up for the rest of your life. If that's where you're at, then you must find a way to keep going, even if it doesn't make any sense, even if you have to take on part-time jobs, even if you fail in front of everybody. You have to keep going, because the regret at age 90, looking back on your life, the regret will be enormous. That's how most people live. Most people spend their entire life regretting the things that they didn't do. Go look at a retirement home, go talk to your grandparents or great-grandparents, and a lot of them will be filled with regret. I wish I did this. I wish I took my shot. I wish I had the courage. I wish I had the bravery to keep going. If that's what you're worried about, then you must not give up and find a way to keep going. That's when it's good advice. Here's where it's bad advice. I think people stay in things for too long as well. I think people stay in their business for too long. I think people stay in their relationships for too long. People stay with things because it's comfortable, because they know it, because they recognize it, because it's safe, because it's helping generate some money. They stay in the wrong thing for too long. If you are in the wrong thing, then quit immediately. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I come across who've had some level of success. Maybe they're not crushing it, but they've had some level of success. And then they start to hate their business. They start to get bored of their business because they never evolved, because they grew as a human being, but their business didn't grow alongside it. And you keep getting stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again, day in and day out, and you start to hate your business. And you feel like you have to stay in this company because you should never give up on it. No, quit. Get out of that thing. Either change, either adjust what you're gonna be doing, like come up with a new product, come up with a new service, make some tweaks, or if it's just so far away from what you're interested in now, then quit. Try to sell the business if there's a way out, and if not, just abandon ship and go do something else, because this is the most important part right here, this part right now. You will never win doing work that you hate. You will never win, you will never have success, you will never get the goals that you want doing work that you hate, because the people who love doing that work will always crush you. You can have the most talent, the most skills, the most resources in the world, but if you do not love the work, if you do not love the process, you will get crushed, you will get demolished by the people who love it, and you will never be happy. You will always be a junior version of somebody else. And so you have to find the thing that you are so dead in love with. It's why finding your passion, doing the thing that you love, is consistently the number one most important rule that comes up over and over and over and over again in these videos, not because I'm sharing it, because all these people who've had success are sharing it. And so you will never win doing work that you hate. If you are loving the work that you're doing, if you have to find out if this is gonna work or not, then you can never quit. Then you can never give up. Then you have to see it through, at least to know. You could deal with the failure, but you cannot deal with not knowing. But if you don't love what you're doing, if you don't love the thing anymore, then quit immediately. Move on, adjust, find something else, and know that there's something great for you out there. And that's why never quit is the best and the worst advice that you can ever give an entrepreneur. If you quit on something too soon that you still love, you will regret it for the rest of your life. If you don't love it anymore, quit. Move on. You will never win doing work that you hate. But if you love it, and you move on to something else, you will look back on this day and regret it for the rest of your life that you did not see it through. Most people spend their entire life living with regrets. Don't let that be you. The hardest decision I ever had to make in my life was being an entrepreneur. I struggled a lot with the decision, do I want to be an entrepreneur, and had this opportunity to make $300 a month and earn 30% of a company versus going to work at a job that I thought I wanted, a job that I'd been preparing myself for, that this is what I wanted to do. It was in my high school yearbook of this is where I was gonna be. And here it was, earning 6 figures, traveling around the world, doing the investment banking that I thought I wanted to do,
versus making $300 a month and owning 30% of a company. And the thing that allowed me to push through and be an entrepreneur was me saying, I don't want to live with regret. That I would rather know one fail than not know. And I gave myself a year. I said, I'm going to give myself a year to do this. I could always go back and get another job. It may not be the same job. It probably wouldn't be the same job. It may not be as much pay. It may not be traveling as much as this job was offering me to travel. But this entrepreneurial thing, this opportunity that I had, I never knew if it would come back again. Like, I thought maybe this will never happen to me again. And so I decided to go for it. And we struggled and it was hard, but I never ended up having to go back and get another job. And so if you're at an inflection point, if you're thinking about which path should I take, A or B, lean in with your heart. Stop using your head. Your head only understands the world that currently exists. Lean in with your heart and ask yourself, which decision will I regret more if I don't do? And then go take that action. I became an entrepreneur because I didn't want to regret not having at least tried. And a great moment in my life came a number of years later, where one of the people I went to university with came back and said, Evan, I went down that path. I became the investment banker and I hate my life. How do I become an entrepreneur? And I looked in his eyes and I saw the desperation and the sadness and helped him, but also was so grateful that that wasn't me, because it could have been. So how do you live a life not filled with regrets? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1, ask yourself, do you still love it? If you are making something, if you're in the process of creating your business and it's not getting results, ask yourself, do you still love it? It's easy to keep going when you're making money and everything's working, right? When you're at the high, it's easy to keep going. But when it's not working out, for me, when I was making videos and it wasn't working out, it's hard to build a YouTube channel. In the early days, I kept going because I loved it. Ask yourself, this thing that you're doing every single day, this thing that you're worried about leaving and quitting and giving up on, do you still love the process of it? Not just getting some result, not just making $1 million, not just getting 1 million subscribers, whatever your outcome is, the process, the work. Do you actually love the work? If you do, then you have to keep going. Step number 2, ask yourself, how can you keep going? How can you keep going? How do you keep the momentum going? The biggest thing missing for most people is momentum. You're just not doing enough on a daily basis. You stop and start and stop and start and stop and start, and people give up and they quit too soon before you allow that momentum to grow and to carry you. So how can you keep that momentum going? How can you do something every single day to move your mission a little bit forward? Not taking giant steps, but just a little bit tiny step forward every single day. Even if that means you have to go back and get a job. Even if that means that, listen, maybe you're out of money right now. Maybe you took a bet on entrepreneurship and you tried it for 6 to 9 months and now your bank account is dry because you spent it all. Great. Maybe you have to go back and get another job. 1, make sure that that job is something that you're going to learn from, not just make an income from. But then 2, make sure that when you're coming home, you're still spending 30, 45, 60, 90, 120 minutes every day. Don't let the momentum stop on your idea. And step number 3 is ask yourself, what will you do to sustain that momentum? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? Whether you're having pictures on your wall like I have here, whether it's watching videos like this on my channel every day, listening to a podcast, morning routines, you need to inject that into yourself every day. When you don't see the light, when you're not seeing the results, when it feels like there is no momentum, you need to demand that boldness in you every day. So ask yourself, what is the thing that makes you feel alive, bold, confident, that makes you want to go out and create and build momentum even when you don't see any light around you? What is that thing that you need? And then bring that into your morning routine. Demand that from yourself on a daily basis. Instead of hoping that you wake up all motivated today to go out and do work, successful people demand excellence from themselves on a daily basis because they put something in their morning routine that reminds them of what their mission is and how important it is to move forward.
If you want to see my top 10 rules to success, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The difference between outstanding and average is what you do when it gets hard. The reason why you don't follow through on your vision is because you don't trust it enough.